This video is to be watched in combination with this liberalism overview document. So open this up and have this in front of you. Make sure you save up all the documents that we're sending out here over the Canvas page. And we're just going to talk through a few sections of this together so you can take a few notes. This is just to lay some foundational background. So we will talk about the ideology of liberalism here in just a second. But first, we're going to talk over some social changes that take place as a result of the Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution going to bring about a lot of different changes. One big one is you have an entirely new social class in the Western social class system, and that is an increasingly large urban working class. The Marxist term for this is the proletariat. They're still part of the underclass. They just happen to be now in urban areas, in the cities, working in the factories, etc. So the peasantry here, they are the rural underclass, the farm workers, etc., underclass farm workers. But now you've got an entirely new social class in the form of the proletariat, the underclass working in the cities, in the factories. The other thing to understand is the arrival of the middle class now to prominence and dominance as a result of the Industrial Revolution. It's the middle class that is the driving force behind the Industrial Revolution and the innovations that bring about the Industrial Revolution. And the middle class are going to be like your factory owners, your railroad owners, your mine owners, etc. So they're going to gain tremendous amounts of wealth and therefore influence and power as a result of the advent, the invention of the Industrial Revolution. The middle class in England specifically is really the group that brings about invents and manages the Industrial Revolution at its formative stage. So with the onset of the Industrial Revolution then, the bourgeoisie, we're talking about the middle class, grew in economic and political clout. Ultimately then, this is in England, but the middle class becomes the dominant economic, social, and political class. And think about where the middle class started from. During the medieval time period, they're looked down on. They're seen as the lowest type of human beings. The popular notion is that the middle class is like on a pathway to hell because of their focus on earthly wealth accumulation, etc. But by the 19th century now, with the onset of the Industrial Revolution, the middle class has now even outpaced the hereditary elite in England. They become wealthier, more powerful, more influential, etc. All right then, and then for this next section, with the onset of the Industrial Revolution, you now have two distinct forms of secular humanism emerge. One is liberal humanism, liberalism. That's what we're going to talk about more here to come and in the discussion group, and in the discussion assignment, I should say. And then the other form is socialist humanism. So these are two different ideologies. They're competing ideologies. And again, an ideology is a vision about how to organize human society, what the political system should be, what the economic system and order should be, what the social system should be, etc. Both liberalism and socialism are based in secular humanism. They both believe that human beings can affect their own progress. They both believe in Locke's tabula rasa, that if you put people in a better environment, you're going to get better people and more progress and better results. But they have different visions. Liberalism, liberal humanism, and socialism, socialist humanism, they have a tremendous amount in common, but they have different visions about what that environment looks like. They have different visions about what the proper environment is to bring about the greatest amount of progress for human society. They agree on a tremendous amount because they're both forms of secular humanism, but they differ on what that environment looks like. So before we pick up on that, let's just add one more thing. Liberal humanism, aka liberalism, is the ideology of the middle class. Liberalism is an ideology, not a political persuasion. So make sure in this section right here, you write down something to the effect of liberalism does not equal the American Democratic Political Party. Liberalism is an ideology coming out of 18th, 19th century Europe. It is not to be equated with the American Democratic Political Party. There are aspects of the American Democratic Political Party that are informed by liberalism, but there are also aspects of the American Republican Political Party that are informed by liberalism as well. So when we're talking about liberalism, we're not talking about the same way you would talk about somebody being a liberal today in the parlance, in the language of contemporary American politics. So liberalism does not equal the American Democratic Political Party. All right, now, with that established, let's get back to this notion then of liberalism and a vision of a vision of how to organize a human society. Liberalism believes all of these things here. This is the type of environment. This is the type of society liberalism wants to create. And if you create this type of society, and you can read all the details, but this is the question. If you create this type of society, liberalism says this is going to bring about the utmost progress. So if you create this type of environment, again, liberalism is based in Locke's tabula rasa. If you create this environment, liberalism says you will get the maximum amount of progress that human beings can possibly achieve. So the question to you for the homework assignment is why would a liberal argue if you have these things going? What kind of put yourself in the liberal shoes? Why would a liberal argue that this is the environment that's going to maximize progress? So be interested to hear what you think and what you say about that. Thanks.